35-25. Launch pass to Chambers and behind the back.
Did you ever think in your wildest dreams? I guess.
DJ to Chambers. Jam!
40 points in the first half for Tom Chambers.
Chambers to win the game. He's got it. Welcome back to Tom Chambers' Greatest Games. In this episode, we go back to 1990 with the Phoenix Suns playing the Dallas Mavericks. Entering this game, both teams were evenly matched with nearly identical season records, but Chambers would get off to a hot start in the first half, pummeling the Mavs with a combination of acrobatic layups along with deadly outside shooting. In the second half, Chambers would continue his hot shooting, including making a fantastic highlight reel layup despite being fouled on the drive. Chambers' stat line for this game, 35 points, 13 rebounds, hitting 14 of 20 from the field, 2 for 2 from the three-point, and 5 for 5 from the line. So let's go back to January 4th, 1990, the Phoenix Suns versus the Dallas Mavericks.
Last year, he was the 9th best scorer. This year, he's the 6th leading scorer. This guy can put it up.
Well, Alan, last year, his first season with the Suns, he comes in and sets a new franchise record, averaging over 25 points per game. He also led the team with over 8 rebounds per contest. So he was very, very instrumental in them achieving that 55 victory mark and getting to the Western Conference Finals against the Lakers.
And here of late, he's been the leading scorer 13 of the last 20 games for the Phoenix Suns. And the starting lineups for tonight's ball game, as advertised, the Mavericks with their regulars, and the Phoenix Suns will go with their normal 5, even though Jeff Hornacek has just gotten back into the starting lineup in the Tuesday night win in New York City against the Knicks. Before that, it had been Dan Marley, who has returned to his job of coming off the bench. Mavericks control the opening tip tonight. Dallas comes into tonight's contest 6-8 on the road. The Suns are 10-5 here in Phoenix, where they lost only 6 times all of last year. Blackman off a screen. Hornacek fights through it. Blackman into the paint. Got the foul call on the initial possession. Off to Mark West. Chambers outside being covered by Sam Perkins. Now will drive around Perkins. Gets to the basket. Tough reverse layup. Nice English on the ball by Chambers.
And there you can see why he is such a prolific scorer in the NBA. A second-team All-NBA selection last year.
Okay. Harper around his man, gets to the basket, lays it off, and there's James Donaldson crashing the offensive glass.
Defensive play, it showed that time.
Donaldson averaged 17 rebounds during the just completed homestand. Tom Chambers has both of Phoenix's buckets now as the Suns get even at 4. And again, Sam Perkins draws the tough defensive assignment. Tommy Chambers, who again works the baseline very nicely against Sam Perkins, and Chambers continues to be the only Phoenix Sun to have scored as the game is knotted at 6.
Beating Sam Perkins down the baseline. In all truthfulness, Adrian Dantley should have been there from the backside to help. Here's the beautiful drive by Derek Harper off of a screen. James Donaldson's beautiful follow-up slam dunk.
Johnson in a hurry drives against Harper. Harper made a good defensive play, but Hornacek keeps it alive. Chambers is open. And Chambers now has 8 of Phoenix's first 10 as the Suns are back to within 1.
And Phoenix made all that possible because of the deep penetration off of the break by Kevin Johnson.
Wennington Mavericks, who started off shooting well, really tailed off down the stretch in the first period. Tom Chambers leads, or led all scores in the first period, but Chambers back on for the Suns. Left hand. Tom Chambers gets to double figures, and the Suns open up a 4-point lead.
That's why Tom Chambers is a scoring machine. He uses both hands equally well. Very smart offensive player.
6-point Suns advantage, their largest of the game. Rambis, nice overplay on defense, forces a turnover. Top pass to Marley. Jeff Hornacek threads the needle, and Marley gets a dunk. Phoenix doing all of this with Kevin Johnson getting some rest. Chambers will try to answer with a 3 of his own.
Well, the guy knows no limits on the offensive end. He's just something else.
That's only the 5th three-pointer of the year for Tom Chambers, but he's got 17 points already. Majerle works the baseline, gets a couple of players in green up off the floor, then kicks it back to Chambers, who will drive and lay it home. And what an outstanding offensive first half by Tom
Well,
Chambers.
he's having an all-star type of performance, and the Mavericks will probably have to start double-teaming him immediately to slow him down.
22nd timeout called by Richie Adubato with 3:36 remaining, and the Mavericks down by 13.
See, Majerle kicked the ball out to Chambers. Chambers will take it immediately on a penetration to the lane. He just splits the defense, and to be perfectly blunt about it, that's not good defense.
From the baseline, Mavericks trying to coax a couple of shots home. Here's Chambers trying to coax the ball away from Harper. Hornacek will chase it down. Mavericks just getting beat everywhere. Rambis to the basket.
Well, so maybe Cotton said, let's go with somebody that's hot.
Well, Mark West is hot right there. That's how you lead the league in field goal percentage, folks. You stay within your range.
Well,
Mavericks have spent most of this half at the foul line. 13 of 16 from the stripe for Dallas. Here's Kevin Johnson in a hurry to Hornacek. Not in time. And so the first 24 minutes not good for the Dallas Mavericks as the Phoenix Suns with a very first half that included a three-point shot. Blackman, the only Maverick in double figures, but it was definitely a first half highlighted by number 24 for the Phoenix Suns.
Well, here you can see part of the Tom Chambers show in the first 24 minutes of action. Saw him hit the three-pointer. Now look at him make this baseline drive. Just makes a beautiful move there on the reverse layup. Gets a lucky bounce of the ball, but that's what you have to do when you shoot 9 out of 10. Here we see Jeff Hornacek coming off of the screen by Mark West. Beautiful pass by Jeff to Mark West, going it in, showing us why he leads the league in field goal percentage.
Some of the negative numbers for the Mavericks. Adrian Dantley was 0 for 3 in 12 minutes. A trip to the All-Star game in Miami, and obviously I gave you bad information by saying James Donaldson was 5th voting for sinners because he's not even on the All-Star ballot, and I forgot that. Tom Chambers works the baseline and is fouled. They're going to hit Adrian Dantley with the personal. His first foul of the ball game.
Well, not only is Tom Chambers a great shooter from the field, obviously he's an outstanding free throw shooter also.
83%, 85% last year. Tough man to guard because he's so big. He plays a small forward spot, but he's basically too big for most small forwards to guard, and yet for the most part he's too quick for many of the power forwards and centers to try to keep up with.
Well, he is just so ambidextrous in handling the ball. He puts a lot of pressure on a defender.
Ambidextrous, is that anywhere akin to athleticism?
Ambidextrous is my word, athleticism is your word.
Okay. Lead here is 16 points. Tom Chambers continues to face all scores now with 21. Donaldson with a shot clock getting 10. But tonight has not been normal for Dallas of late. West gets Donaldson up but can't convert. Gets it back. Mark West inside.
Well, Mark West is a very, very tough player on the boards. He's in the top 20, as we mentioned, in rebounding in the league. He just positions himself well.
Chambers with his board after the Harper miss, threw it away, but Kevin Johnson will chase it down. Johnson lays it in.
Vintage Kevin Johnson basketball. Streaking to the basket, making the double pump for the easy 2.
Mavericks in great position and still fumble away the rebound. And Tom Chambers makes them pay. No way you're going to come back with that kind of play.
Well, Tom Chambers just has beautiful form on his shot. Any of you youngsters at home that are watching, trying to learn how to perfectly shoot a basketball, watch Chambers. He has a great follow-through, does everything right. Here we see another double team by the Suns.
And it's Chambers applying the double. Eddie Johnson inside. And here's Tom Chambers streaking to the other end of the floor. Look at that balance by Chambers. What an acrobatic shot. Had the foul call early.
Acrobatic, lucky, call it what you want. The man knows how to play the game. Anytime you're on the offensive end, this guy is a magician with the ball. Look at this now. He has enough presence of mind to go ahead and flip it up two-handed. The Harlem Globetrotters would have been proud of that one, Alan.
I'm telling you what, that is a highlight film shot if ever there was one. Had the foul early on, knew he was going to the stripe, wanted to make sure he somehow got it off and coaxed it home. Look at the line on Chambers, also in double figures in boards. We mentioned he led this team in rebounding last season. So far this year, Mark West has been their leading rebounder. But Chambers with a picture-perfect game, 26 points on 11 of 16 shooting. He is 3 of 3 from the line. And the 11 boards. Phoenix's way, Brad Davis.
This Phoenix team is just loaded with offensive talent.
Boy, they have exploded all over the Mavericks tonight. We will go into the final 12 minutes tonight with the Phoenix Suns up by 22 points. They define it actually.
Now that deserves to be on a lot of highlight films. I like that kind of action, especially when the Mavericks are 16 behind. That looks pretty good.
And he has epitomized it this year for the Dallas Mavericks. Chambers got the foul call out front. And they hit Sam Perkins with his third.
As Tom Chambers goes to the free throw line, Alan, I think many of our viewers would be interesting to know he was the very first unrestricted free agent in NBA history when he signed with the Phoenix Suns before last season. And quite a pickup he's been for this Sun franchise.
Boy, he really has. And they signed him as soon as the clock struck midnight in 12:01 on the day that he became an unrestricted free agent. Jerry Colangelo had him inking the pact that would put him here in Phoenix. And Chambers, a huge year last year and off to a great start this season and an outstanding night tonight with 28 points. Boy, has he been impressive. Perfect 5 of 5 from the line. And the Mavericks now trying to climb a 15-point hill. Williams against Rambis. Chambers reaches in, forces a turnover. Chambers gets it back off to Hornacek. Oh, nice block by Anthony Jones.
And that was a good pass by Tom Chambers. Many people say he's selfish, but he certainly hadn't showed it here tonight, that being a good example of it.
Chambers for three. Just will not be denied tonight. Tommy Chambers with his second three-pointer of the season. He's only got 5 all year. And I obviously subbed the wrong guy.
Good offensive move in a row.
There's Chambers outside. Off to Mark West inside. Mark West flips it home. Saturday night, boy, athletic play there by Rambis. Here's Chambers. Now that's almost automatic tonight as Tom Chambers has 33 points on 13 of 19 shooting, 13 rebounds for Chambers.
Alan, we're talking about these high-scoring nights. I got to brag on one of my former Baylor players. Terry Teagle had 44 the other night.
Terry Teagle had a huge game the other night against Utah as James Donaldson works baseline. What was his first half numbers?
He had 36 points at the half on 14 of 16 field goals. That's what you call unconscious.
One gets the feeling Don Nelson went into the locker room at halftime and said, boys, I think we've got to keep on getting the ball to Terry. And Mark West with the exclamation point. And the Suns are going to go over 500 with his win. Chambers with the takeaway.
Alan, I've got a feeling we're seeing the real Phoenix Sun team come alive here tonight.
Boy, great ball work there as Hornacek gets it to Chambers with a huge grin. Tommy Chambers with 35. Sam Perkins may just run out the clock. No, he's going to launch a three. That'll do it. Well, there's going to be a few clunkers along the road for Richie Adubato during his tenure at the Mavericks. His record at the helm of Dallas drops to 11-8 with tonight's rather lopsided ball game. The final score 119-102 in favor of the Phoenix Suns. A huge night for Tommy Chambers, who leads all scorers with 35 points. Rolando Blackman faced Dallas with 23. And let's move along to the Dallas Morning News great play from tonight's ball game. And as you might expect, it involves number 24 for the Phoenix Suns.
Well, number 24 for the Phoenix Suns, none other than Tom Chambers. Just watch this reverse move on the baseline by the guy that is known as a scoring machine. This will go on many highlight films. Great body control, great hands. What more can you say about the NBA All-Star Tom Chambers?
9th year pro out of Utah. That was the Dallas Morning News great play for tonight. For in-depth coverage on this evening's game, pick up the Dallas Morning News tomorrow.